Hi Costa Mesa, I'm Kelly Earnby with Costa Mesa Brief. We're here to interview a candidate for City Council District 6 in Costa Mesa, Hengameh Abraham. Thank you for being with us here in the lovely parks of Costa Mesa.
Yes.
So I know one of the first questions all the viewers have for you is how is the City Council set up in terms of the districts? What does it mean to be running for District 6?
First of all, hi, and thank you for having me. So this is the first time that District 6, which is famously is known as Eastside Costa Mesa, is up for election. So this is the first time that Eastside Costa Mesa gets to elect their own City Council member. We have 6 districts, and District 6 covers the east side of the freeway from Newport Boulevard all the way to Irvine Avenue, and from 15th Street all the way down to Mesa.
Great. So what is it that makes you want to run for City Council?
What ignited the fire in me to run for City Council, because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a career politician, I'm a business owner. I own a wellness center here in Costa Mesa with my husband. What ignited my fire was the fact that when COVID happened back in March and I reached out to our city for help and for advice and guidance, I didn't get an answer. And I don't think it is okay for anyone from any city to not be able to get in touch with their leaders that are elected to help them out, especially at a time of need. So I tried to reach out, ask for help, ask for guidance, offer some help. My degree is in health sciences with health promotion and disease prevention, so I have a background, education in what pandemics are and how to read data when it comes to epidemiology. And I've also worked in healthcare since I was 19 years old. So when I offered the City Council that we currently have, that we don't have anyone with a health profession sitting in our City Council at the moment, I didn't get a response, and I don't think that's okay. I think it is to the best interest of everyone to collaborate with each other, to hear every citizen's concern and see how we can pool our resources to help each other out. And I decided that I'm going to run so I can be the voice of people in time of need and uncertain times.
So is it fair to say you think that there isn't a good representation of the people in the city government right now?
No, and I believe it is time for some fresh perspective, for some people just like myself. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a small business owner. My kids go to school here. Our livelihoods are here. And not a career politician, not a lawyer. I have no interest in anything except to be able to help Costa Mesa flourish and be the great city that we were once and get back to where we are.
And so what are the 3 primary issues that you think are the most important right now in the city?
I'm going to talk about my district, if that's okay, because the beauty of Costa Mesa is that we are very diverse and we are very unique. So some of the issues that pertain to District 6 might not be applicable to District 1 or District 2, which is close to South Coast Plaza and the metro area. In District 6 right now, I would say number 1, because of COVID, is we need to help our small businesses get back on their feet. We need to stop with the restrictions. We cannot, South Coast Plaza is opening with 25% capacity. We're not gonna be able to bring revenue to our city, which is in a $30 million deficit at the moment. With respect to COVID, with respect to regulations, there are other cities, there are other countries that have opened up their economy, and they're doing just fine. Their numbers are fine. They have flattened the curve a lot quicker than we have. So I think we need to have our forces behind our small businesses and say we're going to let you reopen, and we need to put a stop to a lot of our businesses not being able to come back to this. It's devastating to see some of my fellow business owners, closing their shop after being here for 20, 30 years. That's their livelihood. When you open a small business, it's like raising a child. You nurse it, you nourish it from the very beginning. And what happens when that goes away. It's devastating. That's not acceptable in my book. So that's on my agenda.
And you've experienced that firsthand as a business owner.
I did.
Obviously, we've all been through a pandemic,
Yes.
and there are a lot of issues with that. Are there any other issues that you believe the city should be focusing on?
Yes, and this pertains to all of Costa Mesa, and that's fiscal responsibility and balancing our budget. When you balance a checkbook, and this is very simple, when there's no money, when there's no revenue coming in, the first thing you have to do is cut unnecessary expenses. We can't say, oh, we have no money coming in, but we're going to keep spending money. We need to put a stop to the expenses that are not necessary. As an example of that is that we do not need city aides for our city council members. I have spoken with many former mayors. I have spoken with some current and former city council members, and this is the first time that we have city council aides. That's taxpayers' money that should be put into, fixing the potholes in the streets, taking care of the city, because from what I'm learning and from the mentorship that I'm getting, city council members do not need any aides. And also we can use that money so our business owners don't have to pay fees for permits. So instead of charging people more money who are already struggling, let's cut some spending and help them out so they can get back on their feet. And lastly is our homeless issue. It is not a one-person job to solve it, and I am grateful that in Costa Mesa we have 7 council members. We have a mayor and 6 other council members, so we can collectively talk about it and we can come up with a practical solution, because it's not one person's job and it shouldn't be one person's decision on how we're going to tackle it. We need to come in as a team and collaborate some ideas and listen to each other.
Okay, and so you've told us kind of 3 primary issues that you're focused on, and everybody has heard and probably agrees that fiscal responsibility is important. We got to deal with the homeless issue, and we've been through a pandemic and we've got to help people.
Yes.
But how do you do all that? What's your plan to move us forward?
My plan to move us forward is honesty and transparency. I think what we should expect from our city council and our representatives is that we don't only focus on one issue. I'm going to give you an example. Right now, we have been very, very focused on reporting COVID numbers. That's great that we are in the middle of a pandemic. Why are we not reporting on the number of mental health cases that have increased? Why are we not talking about domestic violence issues? Why are we not talking about child abuse issues? Because guess what? COVID numbers are not the only things that have gone up. Those numbers have skyrocketed during the pandemic. And it's a disservice to our community to not report those, or to just not only not report those, but not even talk about it. So we need to listen to everybody. We need to inform everybody about what is happening. We can't be selective in when and where we use science. We are letting our restaurants open, outdoor, which I am grateful for. I think they need to get back, and they need to start earning money. Why are we not opening our churches once a week for an hour? What we don't realize is that a lot of people in our community use that hour of worship, whether it's a church, whether it's a mosque, whether it's a synagogue, whatever it is, as a resource for mental health. They go there to get some sort of relief. And we're doing a disservice by not allowing our churches to be open, or our communities. Open our parks. Please open our parks. I have a 5-year-old. He has not been able to use a playground in Costa Mesa. I don't want to drive to Newport Beach or Huntington Beach to use a playground. This is my home. This is my city. I want to be able to walk to the amazing, we have 5 different parks in Eastside that are within walking distance. Open them up. Science says there is limited, data that shows you can even contract anything from the playground at the moment. Let's not be selective.
Right. So I think what you're saying is we need some new representatives,
yes,
if I'm hearing what you're saying,
yes,
to focus on something, in addition to COVID-19,
yes,
the big picture for the city.
Yes.
And isn't it true that this is the first time anybody will be elected in this district? 6, I think you mentioned that.
Yes.
So this is a historic race.
Yes.
Are you the only candidate, or are there other candidates running?
I am not the only candidate. So our district, District 6, I am one of 4 candidates. So there's a total 4 running. I'm the only female candidate running, and there are 3 other gentlemen running. And I think that this is the time for us to get out there, to educate ourselves about the candidates. You know, we all have our platforms. Social media, because of COVID, has been the platform for everybody to voice what's on their agenda, what they are going to bring to the table. I use social media. Hengameh Abraham, I am the only Hengameh Abraham. I'm easily found. However, I refuse to limit my campaign to that. I'm still hosting events once a week at one of our local parks with respect to COVID. I am open to anyone that wants to sit down with me. I've had many people reach out to me since April when I filed my intent to run. I have sat down with so many of our residents who are willing for a cup of coffee and listen to them. I've taken notes, because the only way I can be a fair representative of District 6 is to listen to what the residents want.
Right. So the last question I have for you is, why do you think you're the best candidate for the District 6?
Talking about yourself is always hard, but at this juncture, I am going to say why. Not only do I live in Costa Mesa, I'm raising my children in Costa Mesa. I'm growing a business in Costa Mesa. And it is time for someone who is a fair representative of what our district is to sit on city council. It is time for someone who has fresh ideas, that is not politically involved, that is not in this for any gain from any special interest groups. I am running this campaign as grassroots as possible. And I am proud of that, because right now, asking people to donate money to your campaign as a business owner, I can't do that. But I've had the blessing of so many people donating to my campaign because they see how genuine I am. And I just want to say that the one thing you can expect out of me, and that's a promise that I make, is honesty and transparency. I will make sure that you will not get surprised by any deals that are made in our city as a resident, that you will have a voice. And I think it's time to put a lot of the issues that are important to the city on the ballot instead of voting on them behind closed doors. And that's why I think I can represent District 6.